Hello, namaskar, adab, sat sri akal, kasa kai, kedo hal hai, kem cho. Welcome to the program Spotlight with Abha, where I bring a successful personality into my program, into the spotlight, right, to share their success stories so that you also can follow those success steps and you can achieve your success in a totally charismatic manner, right? So today we have Miss Archana Madhusudan into the spotlight with Abha, who is a freelance corporate trainer, and also she's a director to Pan Edgurukul, right, India. So now moving towards Archana. Welcome Archana to my show into the spotlight. Yeah.
Thank you for that warm welcome and introduction, Abha. Honored to be here with you today.
Thank you so much, Archana, for your time. For a very short notice on emergency note, you have given me time for interview. So I'm really thankful for that. So to begin with, I just want to peep into your childhood, right? Everyone knows today what Archana is, but let us all know what kind of childhood Archana had.
Okay, so it is a pleasure. It is my pleasure that you considered me to be a candidate to be interviewed. So the pleasure is all mine, Abha. And talking about my childhood, I was a tomboy. Okay, so I never considered myself a girl. I was a tomboy in my childhood, and you could never find me on the ground. I was always hanging about on trees. So that was the type of personality I had. And somehow, with changing times and the conventional upbringing that we have to change our ways. So I compelled myself into turning ladylike, otherwise the Indian society wouldn't accept it. So my schooling, childhood, everything has been in Hyderabad. I have been born and brought up in Hyderabad and consider this my motherland. Although basically my parents are from Karnataka. I am a total Hyderabadi, a Pakka Hyderabadi is what I call myself.
Okay.
So I completed and I have always been fascinated with books and education, and that is what drove me into reading. So I'm an avid reader. Anything related to education books entices me, and that is the reason that I moved into the teaching field. Although it was again an accident, I just stumbled upon into teaching. Otherwise, I always wanted to be an air conditioning mechanical engineer because
Oh.
my father is one. And when I was his perpetual assistant as a child, so I loved the machinery and whatnot they could accomplish. So cutting open compressors, filling in gases, and then servicing air conditioners, all of these were my forte because I used to observe dad very closely and I used to assist him. I could do them all by myself at a certain stage. So I used to tell dad that this is what I'm going to do when I grow up. So he used to say, girls can't be mechanical engineers, especially air conditioning mechanic. And I said, no, I will be this. But then, things changed as I grew up and I ventured into the educational sector. And I realized that I'm made to be a teacher because I tried out my hands at other things as well. I tried to be a medical transcriptionist, and that was basically because I am faculty for medical English, wherein I teach medical transcriptionists and scribes how to write grammatically correct medical reports or how to prepare reports so that they are available to the doctor when he or she is treating a patient. So I first wanted to know what is this all about, because if I do not know what is the medical terminology required there, I wouldn't be able to relate. I wouldn't be able to, make a correlation between English and medicine, because
Yes.
medical English is something which is completely different compared to the normal English we speak. The same thing applies to any type of English, technical English and general English. So
Okay.
I am into technical English. I do the medical English. I am into corporate training. So once I finished off with my graduation, I completed my double PG, one in English, another in Sanskrit, and I teach children or students of all age groups, ranging from kindergarten to postgraduates. And my senior most student was a 60-year-old, and
Oh,
even today I have a
great.
student who is 70 and he is training with me for Sanskrit. So I
Wow.
take great pleasure in saying that yes, I have a range of students, and I handle both of these subjects with elan. This has always been a question which always causes curiosity as to, Archana, why English and Sanskrit? What a
I was
combination.
just about to ask you that question, that be coming from a engineering background, you got diverted totally towards language part. English is still okay, but towards Sanskrit, that is really amazing. How come it happened?
No, I don't come from the engineering background. Dad comes from the engineering background. I was just fascinated with what he did and thought that I should go into it, but I never went into it. I went into the commerce field. And
Okay.
after commerce, because literature was my strong point, I did my MA in English and later with Sanskrit as well. No, I did Sanskrit first and then English. And I love both of these languages passionately. One is the most ancient of languages, rather mother of all Indian languages, and another is the most modern of all languages. But I can pride myself on having a proper understanding of both the languages and being able to impart the same, because knowing a language, having a degree in a language and imparting to somebody else are completely different skills,
True.
right? Because I
Yes.
have seen people who are gold medalists in their subjects,
Mm.
experts in their subjects, but they are not able to uh, pass on the knowledge to the students. So
Absolutely agree.
teaching
Yeah.
and learning are different skills. I can pride myself, or I can say that it is a blessing in disguise that I just stumbled upon into teaching, and now I have made it a full-fledged career. So be it
Okay.
virtual or physical. I also work for, I'm also a resource person for CBSE and ICSE schools, wherein I do a lot of teacher trainings, principal trainings, parent workshops, all
Great.
of these, in addition to corporate training of soft skills, voice and accent, motivation, and blah, blah, blah.
Wow, there's so much to learn from you. So, like when we talk of Sanskrit, so in today's time, Sanskrit has somewhere lost its importance because everyone is, running behind learning English. That is what I've observed as a principal also. So, what do you say about this? Why today's youth should pursue Sanskrit?
Okay, now this is something which will actually, being a principal, you must be aware of it, but then the audience is going to be shell shocked with my answer, because Sanskrit undoubtedly is considered a dying language in India. But
Yes.
the West has woken up to the fact that Sanskrit is an evergreen language. It
Mm.
is a flawless language. Okay, it doesn't have any errors. For
Mm.
example, if I construct a sentence in English like, name Archana my is, would you accept that sentence, Abha?
Not at all. Not at all.
Why?
Because it's not looked framed properly.
Then how do I frame it properly?
So my name is Archana, like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then the same thing when I put it in Sanskrit. Mama nama Archana. My name is Archana. Or Archana mama nama. Nama mama Archana. Nama Archana mama. Anyway, it is 100% right.
Great.
Okay. So there is no particular word order. It
Mm.
it is it is composed or built in such a way. Panini is called the father of Sanskrit grammar, and his construction of grammar of Sanskrit is in such a way that you cannot find structural errors in the language. That's the reason it is considered the most perfect language. And why is it that West has woken up to this fact, and why is it that Indians are not realizing the fact is Indians only look at Sanskrit from the perspective of being a subject. They do not consider it a language. The few who opt for Sanskrit also do it only because it is a scoring subject, and they can get 99-100% also in Sanskrit, which is practically not possible with other vernacular languages. But in the West, when people realized what a treasure house of knowledge the Vedas are, people from the West came to India, learned Sanskrit, went back, and they are spreading it to their own people, their own lands, because they feel that, wow, even my people need to know this knowledge. Okay, so it is an amazing fact that Europe has 50 Sanskrit universities. Can you believe it, Abha? 50 Sanskrit universities completely dedicated to Sanskrit. How many universities do we have in India dedicated to Sanskrit?
Hardly, I think one, Hindu Banaras University.
Banaras University, exactly. That's the one that actually comes to mind, although there must be a couple of them who are making small attempts. But then the irony is, this is the land where this language was born.
Yes.
Right? And we don't, or we disrespect it. Whereas Europe has 50 Sanskrit universities dedicated to learning Sanskrit. And that is because the supercomputers, which will be designed by the year 2025, are going to be coded in Sanskrit, not the binary zeros and ones, because those are leading to loopholes and bugs. But Sanskrit is so structurally correct that there cannot be any errors. And that is the reason that NASA is training its scientists on Sanskrit.
Wow, this is really totally amazing.
This is amazing, yes. And I'll tell you, the wave will come back to India, wherein people will scramble for Sanskrit. Because somehow we Indians ape the West. When it is with us, we don't realize it. But when it comes from the West, it's like, wow, amazing. For example, let us take the humble turmeric, Abha. Turmeric, what we call haldi. Right. So, what are the uses of haldi, Abha?
It is a medicinal, antibiotic. Ayurveda. It is based on Ayurveda. So haldi is the basic medicine for every disease we can use for.
So, do you know this because you are a principal, or do you think is your mother educated, Abha?
Yes, my mother was educated about this, and so she passed this on to me.
What about your grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother? Was she educated?
No, they were not educated. It was
but
a
did she know
tradition.
this?
Yes.
But did she know that turmeric is an antibiotic?
Yes, of course.
That is the reason that every Indian cuisine has turmeric in it.
Yes.
Isn't it? And we use it as a natural beauty product as well. Yes. So this has been coming down from generations, times immemorial. So if we look in our weddings and all, we have the haldi ceremony, a whole ceremony dedicated to haldi. Why? Because we know what are the benefits of this beautiful spice, isn't it? So it has been coming down from generations, but we never realized that. And only a couple of years ago, America discovered that turmeric has antibacterial properties and patented turmeric. Can you believe that?
Amazing.
Right? So it is something like, and then, we would be like, what's so great about it? We know what haldi is. They don't know. But we know it. it from time immemorial. Now that's the beauty of Sanskrit. The same way, who invented the aeroplane?
Right, brothers.
No, I disagree. We had the aeroplane even in our Ramayana times.
Yes,
How did
Pushpak
Ravana
Viman.
kidnap Sita?
Pushpak
In a
Viman.
Viman. Yes, what is a Viman? Viman is an aeroplane. So we are the pioneers. Right. So we had technology for everything which are hidden in these Vedas. But then to interpret the Vedas itself is very difficult. And let me tell you another very interesting thing. Uh, um, how precise Sanskrit can be. Now, you know the whole story of Ramayana, Abha,
Yes.
isn't it? So it is divided into so many kandas, isn't it? So many chapters, so many shlokas. Now, if you look at Vyasa's Ramayana, it is very elaborate. Okay, now Vyasa wrote Mahabharata, Valmiki wrote Ramayana. So Valmiki Ramayana is very elaborate, wherein description is given. But there is a shloka which encompasses the whole of the Ramayana in one little shloka, the whole Ramayana. So I teach it to all of my Sanskrit students that every day you are reciting the whole Ramayana. They say, ma'am, come on, where do we have time to do the whole of Ramayana every day? So I teach you how to do it. Would you like to listen to that, Abha?
Yes, of course. I was about to ask that even I should not miss this opportunity.
Right. So we have this shloka which says, Adau Rama Tapovanadi Gamanam Hatva Mriga Kanchanam Vaidehi Haranam Jatayu Maranam Sugriva Sambhashanam Vali Nirdahanam Samudra Saranam Lankapuri Dahanam Tatpaschat Ravana Kumbhakarana Maranam Etadi Ramayanam.
Great. I can understand Sanskrit, so I clearly understood all the words, and I can, easily relate. Okay, everything has come, and it's a summary of Ramayana in just one
Exactly.
shlok. That is really amazing, amazing, Archana.
Isn't
Fantastic
it?
work you are doing, and fantastically you are teaching Sanskrit. And now I feel like becoming one student of yours in Sanskrit now.
I'd be more than happy to do that. And I'm really glad that at least the West has taken up the challenge. And again, a very sad thing is I don't have students for Sanskrit in India. Majority of my students for Sanskrit are from the US and the UK. Because
Oh,
like I told you, they have realized the value of Sanskrit. Right. So I keep
yeah.
telling them, keep hanging in there. Guys, 2025, you are going to be the superstars because
Great.
you are having the base in Sanskrit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once this comes back to India, then they are like, oh, is it? So US is learning Sanskrit. We
Yes.
also will start.
True, true.
That is a tragic fact. Now, if you look at the ISKCON society, must have heard of ISKCON, Abha?
Yes, yes, of course.
International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Okay,
We
that is
have
the
an
full form
ISKCON
of
temple
it.
over here in Surat also.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So, you know, where are the headquarters of ISKCON?
Bangalore?
New York.
Okay.
Headquarters are in New York. We have branches everywhere in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and
Okay.
everywhere. And what is ISKCON all about, Abha?
It's all about Krishna.
Isn't it? Now, look at the ridiculousness or tragedy of this. New Yorkers come to India and teach us about Lord Krishna, where he was born. Right. So, you know, it is something like it comes from the West. It is all very nice. Otherwise, hey, what is there in India? You're all superstitious, you know. You're so superstitious. You know, what? You know, that is how they treat us. But then every tradition, right from the rangoli that we put in front of our house to the toran that we tie to our door, everything has a scientific base. And this is what I realized when I was doing my master's in Sanskrit. And I realized that, wow, amazing. You know, our forefathers, ancestors were so very clever that you impart it in the form of an education we may forget. So they built it or inbuilt it in our customs and traditions in such a way that It cannot be separated. It has to be integral with it, and you have to learn it. And just imagine the Guru Shishya tradition that we had in our olden days, Abha. There were no books, there was no script, nothing. Thousands and thousands of shlokas memorized, taught orally to the students. That is what they learn, and that is how it goes on from generation to generation. Nothing missed it. If you look at Gayatri Mantra, you must be knowing Gayatri Mantra, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha,
Yeah, I am aware of it.
isn't it? So it has 24 alphabets in it. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha. And each of this alphabet is, in fact, it is an acronym.
Oh,
Gayatri Mantra is an acronym for the whole of Mahabharata. Can you
oh,
believe it?
no, not at
Yes.
all.
So
This I came to know just now.
each of the alphabet of Om Bhurbhuva Swaha stands for the first alphabet of the chapters of Mahabharata. So it
Oh,
has 24,000 shlokas in one shloka,
amazing, amazing.
isn't it? So
Yeah.
I just wonder how cleverly they must have constructed this,
Yeah.
isn't it? So Sanskrit is like, it is it is the deeper you dig, the more wondrous treasures you come across. And I'm very proud to call myself a Sanskrit teacher.
Great, great. This is really amazing information we have come to know. And now I will definitely, feel proud that every day I'm enchanting this Gayatri mantra for some particular numbers. So now I'll be feeling proud that I'm reciting Mahabharata, for this many
Daily.
numbers, right? That's really amazing. So I just wanted to, now coming towards the end of our program, I just want to know, like how, this challenging journey was for you. I know you have already discussed the things that being a tomboy, you have already faced the challenge. But how, what is the mode of inspiration for you to overcome these challenges? And instead today also, if you face any challenge, how you overcome it?
Okay, so yes, undoubtedly, TTOT pushed us to the limits, and it was like it's suddenly my interest in taking up TTOT was solely Brigadier Sushil Bhasi. Okay, I call him Gurudev.
Oh,
I call him Gurudev. So he's like, Archana, call me Brigadier,
hmm.
call me Sushil.
uh,
Fine, sir. Fine, sir. But I cannot address him as anything but for Gurudev. I don't know, somehow that thought came to me, and right from day one that I have interacted with him, I call him Gurudev. And it was solely because he was conducting this. I knew that there is something that will add value. Because I have been an ardent follower of Gurudev on LinkedIn from the moment I made my profile on LinkedIn. And I just loved the way he presented things, his perspectives. They're also very realistic and real life.
hmm.
So that is the reason that it is my affection and it is my faith in him that pushed me into TTOT. But when I got there, I realized that, wow, the amazing community that I have gotten into, and the range of people that I have met there, the friends that I have made there, and Mr. Jogesh Jain, he is an expert with social media and marketing and all. And then, but for me, the life of TTOT is Gurudev. Okay, so undoubtedly, all of us have assisted each other, helped each other. We've gone through the struggles of, trying to meet challenges, trying to give our best, and we had hand holding at every stage. So we were there for each other. Our mentors also were there for us. So undoubtedly, this is a platform wherein I have learned many, many things, still learning. And I hope I really carve myself a niche in the training world, because I always have this desire that finally, the legacy that we leave behind. Whenever my students think of me, at least one student should remember teacher Archana should come to mind. Okay, so that is my aim. I really hope that I make such an impression on at least one of my students. My life would be fulfilled. या फिर जीवन में धन्य हो गई.
Oh,
That is
great.
what my intention is always, because a teacher is who makes or breaks the life of a student.
Agreed.
I've seen several students, and in fact, many of my students whom I have trained even 20 years ago are still connected to me. And it is such a pleasurable feeling when they suddenly come out of somewhere and say, Archana ma'am.
Wow.
I'm like,
Great.
yes. And they're like, ma'am, you were my teacher 20 years ago when I was in my intermediate. I said, oh, wow, very nice. So what are you doing now? Ma'am, I am the AGM in Capgemini. Wow, amazing. And then my proudest moment was when one student said something like, ma'am, even today when I teach Sanskrit to my child, I always quote you. I always remember this is how ma'am taught, and whatever you taught has been ingrained. So I feel very proud when students come up and acknowledge that I have definitely impacted them in whatever little way I could. And that will always be my intention of making a
Fantastic,
difference.
fantastic, Archana. You are already making a lot of difference in lot of lives, right? Not only students, young students, but also as you said, you have a range of students. Right from youngsters to the elderly aged people. So that is fantastic you are doing, and I really feel now proud of being in contact with you, and I feel really privileged to take your interview. So I have learned many things now at this stage in your interview, and I'm definitely going to make sure that I will follow all what I have learned from you. And I wish to stay in touch with you to learn Sanskrit now from you, right?
Undoubtedly, it will be my pleasure. And you are very humble when you say that you have learned a lot from me. You yourself, being an educator, are very well equipped with everything that you need. But then it's a great honor that you have bestowed by saying that you would like to learn from me. And yes, being in touch. Now, this bond is forever because the TTOT community is like that,
Yes.
right? So we stand for each other and we support each other come what may. So that is what I believe.
Perfectly well said words, right? So definitely my viewers are going to learn a lot with this interview also, and this is going to be an inspiring one. Yes. So coming to this end, we are taking leave from now. We'll meet again with one more new personality, successful personality into the spotlight with Abha. Till then, namaskar.
Bye bye.